Are we growing? Are we learning more today than we did yesterday? Are we starting to understand the situation that we find ourselves in? Or are we simply walking through life, repeating the same mistakes, acting as if we're asleep, as if we're a zombie? Some prefer the word sheeple. Is this the state of normalcy for humanity? Going to jobs we hate, coming home to family we'd rather not be around, eating food we don't really want, spending our money on things that don't enrich our lives. Is this the version of the American dream that most are living, or that you're living, that I'm living? Or is this simply something we've been projected onto our consciousness via movies, magazines, mass media, and pop culture? Does the version of events that we see on sitcoms and other television dramas accurately represent the American life, the average human life in general? Or are these fictionalized versions of reality meant to seed ideas into our mind, to get us to chase after something that might not really be a version of happiness that actually fits with us as truly free, beautiful, powerful human beings? I sit here and I wonder on a daily basis, are we evolving? Are we progressing? Are we moving forward? In some ways I see beautiful examples of humanity coming together to find ways to overcome our situation, to find ways to work in balance with the planet, to work in balance with each other, and to leave something better for the coming generations, the 7 generations and beyond. And in other instances, I see examples of humanity at their worst. I see humanity extremely divided via social media and the internet. I see humanity buying into this idea that we must oppose each other at every turn and be at each other's throats, and that our enemies, the people who we see as the opposite of us, should be suppressed, oppressed, denied the freedoms that we want, because that is the only path towards a better world. So I see examples of both. I see examples of humanity flourishing, and I see examples of humanity seemingly going backwards. I also notice there are quite a few brothers and sisters in the human race who seem incapable of critical thinking, who seem incapable of doing anything other than what their heroes, the people they worship, the people in power, tell them. This could be from one party, could be from the other party, could be from one direction to your left or one direction to your right. It doesn't matter in the end, because we move from place to place, nation to nation, culture to culture around the world, and the names shift, the titles shift, the phrasing shifts. Yet at the end of the day, we're dealing with the same situation: division, fear, humanity breaking down and coming at each other as if the solution was simply to wipe out the opposite, the person who you feel opposes your views. There is more and more talk of a civil war in the United States, and civil wars and conflicts and revolutions around the world. And these things are a reality that we shouldn't ignore. In fact, we should dissect them and try to understand them to see what is actually going on. And at the same time, we need to be careful not to manifest and to create and push towards a direction that will end with violence, and that will end with division and sibling against sibling and neighbor against neighbor. I, for one, don't want a civil war, and I want to believe that humanity is evolving. The idea of what we have termed the conscious resistance, or holistic activism, holistic anarchism, is this concept that some of you might not be able to grasp yet, because the reality is there are at least 5 stages of the waking up grieving process. I say grieving because you have to start to look around and accept I have been lied to my entire life by the teachers and parents and pastors and priests and adults that I trusted, and much of what I've been shown about the world must be now unlearned, and I must relearn better things to create a better world. And that is a grieving process. It is often difficult for people, and through this grieving process some folks get stuck in that anger stage where they believe the answer is violence towards the people who lied to them, or violence again towards the people they view as their opposite, their other. This will only lead in a revolution, and the key word there is revolving door, going in circles. This is why we're talking of humanity's evolution. Now, I don't mean in some fairy tale sense of utopia where there is never anything wrong and nobody ever bothers anybody and nobody gets angry. This wouldn't be the state of humanity as we know it. I'm talking about existing in a place of relative harmony where humans accept that initiating violence, force, coercion, theft, etc. are wrong, immoral, unethical, and should be shunned. A world where humanity accepts that just because a government edict says something is illegal or immoral doesn't make it so. A world where people understand that government agencies and official bodies have long been used to justify all kinds of wrong, harm, and ill towards the people of the world. And if we ever truly hope to escape that, we must throw off our shackles. We must abandon the lies that have been told to us. A great teacher, John Trudell, once said that the parasitic class, they're not only mining the earth for its resources, as we see happening on a daily basis, but they are mining our greatest resource, which is our mind, the space between your skull, the most important real estate. Mining your minds for your creativity, for your spirit, for your soul, for your very essence. This is what they are after. That is the most fulfilling, most scarce and valuable resource available. So they will take from the earth, they will take from your spirit, they will take from your body, and they will take from your mind. So again, I bring myself back to the question we started with. Is humanity evolving? Are we taking steps forward, or are we walking backwards? The way forward is quite simple, although I've noticed very difficult for many of us, because it takes consistency, it takes practice, it takes redefining your habits, your daily way of living. It takes a holistic self-assessment to understand your flaws, to understand your insecurities, to understand your doubts, to understand your traumas, and then to say, you know what, I'm going to be an adult, I'm going to be a conscious human being and get over my ego that tells me this is some silly hippie stuff. I don't need to work on myself. I'm fine just the way I am. There's no need for me to change. In fact, anybody who tells me to change, they're the ones who are wrong. My kids who want me to learn differently and update my values and become a better person, they're the ones who are wrong. My friends who are encouraging me to stop acting in these ways that only hurt myself and hurt the ones I love, they're the ones who are wrong. My partner who keeps pointing out my flaws and telling me that they care for me and they want me to be a better person, they're the ones that are wrong. And you end up with all of your fingers pointing outwards. And if you find yourself in this position, pushing blame outwards, I encourage you, my friend, to pick up the closest mirror, to put it right in front of your face, to look deep, deep into that mirror, to look into your eyes and see that you are the source of your problems. You are the source of your happiness. Yes, we are dealing with a world run by psychopaths, run by individuals who I truly believe are carrying out their existence for a reason. Without them, we would not exist. Without those bringing quote-unquote evil and bad and ill to the world, we would not be here looking for solutions, looking to expose it, seeking to find answers. So there is a harmony, there is a balance that exists between what they are doing and what we are doing. I do believe ultimately the light will win if if such a thing can be said. Because this isn't a game, although we might treat it like one. It can be a game of joy. It can be a game of fear. But at the end of the day, this game is the game of life. It is the game that says, do you wake up every day and work to live as the highest, best version of yourself? To use compassion and empathy for your fellow human being, for your fellow animal, for life all around you? Do you wake up every day and say, I'm dealing with my own struggles, I'm dealing with my own trauma, my own insecurities, but today I will push myself to overcome them. I will push myself past my insecurities and past my comfort zone so that I might help another human being. I'm going to be a source of inspiration, of determination, and of perseverance. So when people look in my direction, they not only see my flaws, because I have learned to show them openly when I am ready, but they also see my victories. They see my successes. They see the path that I have walked, and they have seen where I've come from and where I am now. If we each take this approach, if we wake up every day and say, I wake to rise to new heights. I wake to empower my brother and my sister. I wake to empower myself, to uplift myself, to enjoy a sunset, to enjoy a sunrise, to enjoy the trees, to enjoy the snow, to enjoy the fact that I am fucking alive and I am existing in one of the most beautifully complex, insane, just fantastic times in humanity's history. And I have been born in this place for a reason. I am here listening to this. We are here communicating, connecting from my humble place right here on this planet to wherever you sit, wherever you stand, wherever you walk, wherever you drive, and we connect in this moment. And if we make a pact together that yes, humanity will continue to evolve, because I, as an individual, will continue to evolve. This is how we expand and evolve the collective human consciousness. Not via force, not via government, not via top-down centralized solutions, but by a bottom-up, grassroots, individual mind and heart change that can only come one by one. One by one, we will transform the world, and we will transform the future of our species. And on a whole nother level, our species is but just a speck in this grand universe, just a small little part of something much bigger than us. But that does not diminish the role we are capable of playing. Some will say humanity is the problem. Humanity is irrelevant. Our time in the sun will be over before we know it. And when we look back, and whenever the gods and whoever comes after us looks back, humanity will be irrelevant. They won't think of us as important to the overall universe. And maybe they're right. Maybe in the grand scheme of things, we aren't truly relevant. But for the moment, we're here. We're alive. We're existing. We're breathing. As far as we know, we can't escape this potential simulation. We can't escape this place we live in now. So we must work every day to empower ourselves, to learn about the truths that exist in this realm, in this planet, in this physical realm, as well as the truths in the spiritual plane, the truths that our ancestors have discovered and passed down to us, the truths that some have attempted to suppress and hide from us. We must work to understand these truths every day, and again to face our doubts, our fears, and our insecurities, so that we can overcome them, we can love them, we can learn to love the worst parts of ourselves, because it is only through that, it is only through love, not through fear, not through anger, not through hate, not through division, but only through love, through compassion, that we will evolve. And perhaps some of you are resistant to this message. And again, I challenge you, my friend, to find the mirror closest to you, to go walk up to it, to look yourself in the mirror and say, am I working every day to become the best version of myself? Am I working every day to heal my wounds, to heal my traumas? Am I working every day to help others do the same? Because we can't do this alone. We have to lift each other up. We have to extend a helping hand. We have to be that shoulder to lean on. And you get to choose who. I'm not saying you need to accept and love and care for and invite every stranger you meet into your home. But when you do meet that stranger, make eye contact, say hello, smile, ask how their day is going. Be a human being and care for another human being. And recognize that by doing that small action, We can change the world, and we can evolve humanity. We can evolve the collective consciousness. The moment we choose to start being about love, healing, truth, honesty, and working on these things day by day, moment by moment, that's the moment we are evolving humanity's collective consciousness. And it won't be easy, and it won't be over in a minute, and it will take dedication, and it will take frustration, and it will take effort. It will take effort. And if you are willing to do this difficult, hard work, my friends, together, we will be the conscious evolution, the conscious resistance to the fake news, to the fake reality, to the lies, to the division, to the hatred. But remember this: resistance in this context does not mean fighting. It does not mean opposing. It does not mean burying or overthrowing. It means resisting by loving yourself and by loving those around you and by shining a light into the darkness. That is the conscious resistance, the recognition that the better world we seek will not come from only fighting the physical institutions of power, of government and corporate power, but by working on our own doubts, fears, and insecurities. That is how we are going to change the world. And I invite you, my friends, to start doing this right now. Until next time, remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free. Peace.